Yo, 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 Required Fields here, and anyways, this year I haven't really done as much purchasing. I bought Megadeth's new album Dystopia at the start of the year, and got Protectors, A Shedding of Skin. Those were the only two albums that I got before today. Today I got a big haul, and just gonna show off my new acquisitions here. This is Beheaded, and this is her album Ominous Bloodline. This album was released in 2005 on Unique Leader Records. Unique Leader Records is a well-known death metal label. It is run by members of the death metal band Deeds of Flesh. And Deeds of Flesh might actually be a good comparison point for this band. A lot of suffocation. Anyways, this band is from Malta, and they're still going. Yes, Beheaded, Ominous Bloodline, good band, good brutal death metal band, that is one of them. And this is Brutality, and this is Sea of Ignorance. Brutality is a death metal band who has reformed and split up on more than one occasion. They've split up and they've reformed more than once over the years, and this is their second album that they've done. They put out a Tucson EP called Ruins of Humans back in 2013, and this is their first full-length album, Sea of Ignorance, and I only got to hear a bit of one track off of it because the CD haul just came in the mail today. But anyways, yes, Brutality is a very underrated death metal band, and I totally recommend you guys check them out if you haven't checked out anything about them yet. This is a band called Baron Rojo, and this is an album called Metamorphosis. Now, Baron Rojo is from Spain, and they sing entirely in Spanish. And this is Metamorphosis, their third album. It was released in 1983. And a bit of trivia, even though they sing entirely in Spanish, their second album, Volumen Brutal, was actually released in both English and Spanish. And the English version was actually the English version actually got help in translating the lyrics from the man who had just then been hired as a brand new vocalist for Iron Maiden, Bruce Dickinson. He helped him translate the album. And Baron Rojo had a bit of a cult following in the English-speaking regions in their early to mid, back in the early to mid 1980s, and they actually performed live alongside such iconic metal bands like Iron Maiden, Merciful Fate, and Metallica. And Lars Ulrich of Metallica even stated that their second album, Volumen Brutal, is one of his favorite metal albums of all time. And stylistically, Baron Rojo would be more along the lines of the NWO BHM movement. And they had a bit of a cult following in the early to mid 1980s, but after that, they were unable to get distribution in outside of Spanish-speaking markets, and therefore their albums are pretty hard to find. Yes, this is a good band, Baron Rojo, and this is their third album, Metamorphosis. Anyways, that's the number one of the albums that I got in the mail. And no, not every band in this acquisition belongs to not every band in this acquisition begins with the letter B. So anyways, this is Obscura. Now, a few years back, I talked about Obscura in my underrated death metal bands video, and this is their new album, Acroasis. This is their first album in 5 years, and I thought I had heard that Obscura had broke up a couple of years back, but apparently they didn't, and this is their brand new release, Acroasis. This is Opprobrium, and this is Beyond the Unknown. Now, Opprobrium was originally known as Incubus in the late 1980s and early 1990s, and this is their second album, Beyond the Unknown, and reformed in late 1990s, but due to the alternative rock band who became very popular around the same time frame, Incubus, well, these guys, not the alternative rock group, but the group this group who used to be known as Incubus changed their name to Opprobrium to avoid confusion. When they released Beyond the Unknown, they were still known as Incubus, but after changing their name to Opprobrium, they re-released this album under the Opprobrium name, a wise decision to avoid fans of the alternative rock band Incubus from buying the album thinking it was an album of theirs that they had never heard before. And anyways, the Opprobrium plays a mix of death metal and thrash metal. Slightly more thrash than death, but there's a definite death metal influence in their sound. And this is Beyond the Unknown. The best tracks here are probably Beyond the Unknown, Freezing Torment, and On a Burial Ground. I absolutely love that song, On a Burial Ground. Awesome stuff. This is a band called Vomit the Soul, and they are also on Unique Leader Records. And Vomit the Soul is a brutal death metal band also, comparable to Deeds of Flesh or Defeated Sanity. And this is their third album. They'll release a full length and an EP before this, and this is their third album, second full length, and final overall as they disbanded after this. And anyways, these guys were from Italy, and they play brutal death metal, and they fortunately split up a few years ago, and this is their final album. And pretty good brutal death metal band. And this is The Faceless, and this is their album Planetary Duality. And this is their second album. Under debut, The Faceless played a more technical deathcore style, but they removed any deathcore elements from their sound and go for a more progressive, technical death metal direction, more comparable to bands such as Origin or even Obscura. And anyways, they since put out an album called Autotheism, and anyways, so yes, this is their second album, Planetary Duality. This is Razor. These are their 1990 albums, Shotgun Justice and Open Hostility. These albums were out of print for a number of years until they were reissued, and they were reissued with new updated artwork, and a very raw, vicious, intense Canadian thrash metal band. Those are the last two albums that they did before breaking up in the early 90s. They reformed since then, and they reformed in the late 1990s, but only put out one album, Decibels. And they've been talking about putting out a new album for years, but the guitarist and main songwriter, Dave Carlo, is legally blind now, and also is battling cancer for a bit. So I have no idea if that new album will even be released, even though he's been talking about it for quite some time. But here's hoping. And finally, this is Accuser of the Forlorn Divide. I talked about Accuser in my last video. I talked about what's been spinning when I talked about their album Diabolic. This is their newest album, The Forlorn Divide. Just came out a couple of weeks ago, and I only got to listen to one song off of it so far. I didn't actually get to spin the album yet. I heard one song off of it, and it sounds pretty good stuff, but yes, this is Accuser, The Forlorn Divide. Anyways, those are my new acquisitions. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is Required Field signing off. Stay strong, and goodbye.